This is my setup for a comparison test, one motor, one ESC. The motivation for the test is the recommendation of one of the forum members who had a very good idea. The concept is that in my previous test of a single motor, single ESC configuration, my motor was directly over the center of the scale. Thus, the prop wash affected my reading significantly. In my two motor, one ESC, you remember that the motors were over the side and the prop wash came down without hitting the scale over in this dark brown area. So we're going to run two tests. One to duplicate what we've done before where the prop wash is directly on the center of the scale. The second one, I'll move it over where the previous position, still one motor, one ESC, where the prop wash will be down over the side and not onto the scale. So let's do a comparison of the two tests. This is the first of the two tests, but you notice in this one I put in an Astroflight meter which records amps, volts, watts, as well as milliamp hours pulled to the battery pack. Now we can compare that then to the voltage of my Eagle Tree setup, both on my laptop and of course the monitor, which is reading 11.53. Here we're reading 11.59, so that's fairly close. So what we'll do is turn on the scale. I will tear the weight out to 0, and we're ready for the first test. We'll run a series of about 5 data points, see what happens. First one starts somewhere around about 10,000 RPM. Eagle Tree data. End of test number 1. This is test configuration number 2. You'll notice then that I've moved the motor to the side. This is the identical position that I used when I had the dual motor setup. Now the prop wash has a little bit more room and is not affecting the scale. I again have my Astroflight meter, my Eagle Tree setup. So let's start and try to duplicate some results here, starting about 10,000. Had to stop there because it actually lifted my scale up. End of test. To make it easy, I've plotted the data. On the left-hand axis, I have the thrust in grams. I have the power in watts, which is the volt times amps from the Eagle tree and the Astro data logger. The curves represent the thrust then versus watts. The upper scale is when the motor is placed to the side of the scale and the prop wash does not affect the scale. This is good. The second curve, which is what I had done previously, is I mounted the motor directly above the scale. The prop wash impeded the scale, making my readings falsely low, as you can see by the lower graph. So I give 2 bluebirds on the forehead to the 4 members that pointed out. A dense cap to me. I'll set in the corner as I think about the next test.